you were going to video um, one of the sit down conversations or something like that with um but with Suncalp and I'd
Yep,
love to see that sometime.
yep, yep, yep. Uh, some videos are there. So what I will be doing, I will just play it in the next session is on Tuesday. Tuesday, I will, yeah, Tuesday. The next session I will be. In the
Oh,
meantime, what are the still photograph I will be sharing into the particular group, WhatsApp group,
oh,
and
perfect.
we will see that if some of the video can be captured and just I mean have the subtitle or translated into the English. So let me just see.
Awesome. Yeah, that would be great. Thank you, Summit.
Yeah.
Okay, well, I think I'll share the screen really quick and we can go ahead and get started unless anybody has anything to share. Thank you for sharing, everybody. I love seeing what you're doing and celebrations, and I'd love to kind of dive into your culture a little bit more. It's been great. So um, I just need to get myself over to India so I can actually experience some of that. Let's see. Let me log in really quick. Okay, here we are. Start course. Okay, I guess we can start with our commitments from Unit 7. So we had made the commitments to one, set a price and put it into the MBS project requirements. So feel free to either just comment in the Zoom to see if you've done that. Camden, I'm not sure if um, you know if they have or not. I know you check up on the my platform, but did anybody have any issues getting to the page where they put in their um, price on their MBS project requirements? Okay. Well, if not, then we can move to the next one. Found two ways to add value or decrease costs. So those would be two things for your guys's organization. Possible ways to either add value or decrease costs. Ones that I really like that your company does, that I've heard so far, is offering um, different rates to people that maybe need it more, like women or people that are really in need, or the and it's targeted towards small businesses as well. So it's a niche market, and then you've got um, your mobile. That's I think that's really great that you're able to go to other individuals' homes and stuff like that. I think that adds value as well. So any stuff like that. I know on the MBS requirement on the my platform, if you go in and put something in, and then I looked for multiple suppliers. That one um, is more so for physical items or something like that. I don't know if you have any comments on that, Summit, but
In fact, Collins, just I had been into some of the recognition platform last week itself. So it's on the sustainability. So I had an opportunity to network so many manufacturer. I mean, they are all the small time, and somebody is into a big scale or manufactures some of the product which is environment friendly and the sustainable product. So that is made out of the wastage and everything. So one particular product, I'm just in the process of negotiating. And in fact, I want that particular things to be into the MBS model to launch that product. It's a toothbrush made out of bamboos.
Oh, a
Yeah,
toothbrush
even the
made out of
bristles,
bristles.
not the, yeah, even the bristles, that's made out of the bamboo. So it's totally eco-friendly and it's totally green. And in India, bamboos are in abundance. So I got the idea, and this is the product. So because as of now, whatever we are doing in Sankalp, it is of the into the service sector because we don't have any tangible product. So with this particular product, because it doesn't require a lot of capital, but its demand into the market is good, not only the domestic market, but also the international market. So I like that particular product. Now I'm just, screening the different proposal, how to negotiate. So exactly right from the start, the beginning to the end, we can have the MBA step by step, all six processes of the business management. So I think by that time we may have formally be over with this particular curriculum. But as we will be in touch, I can give you that how that particular product selection to launching to negotiation with the vendor and to offer to the end user. So how this business model is work. So I'm working on that. It's a fantastic product I have identified because a lot of products were there, but I once I come across this particular product, I showed my level of interest, and then I thought that yes, this is the right thing because everybody can use it, everybody can afford it. It's easy to handle, easy. Very very eco friendly. So very
That's
soon, I think by
awesome.
end of October, I can give the entire end-to-end project report that how the MBS really really helps us in a real life project.
This is awesome. This is great, Summit. I I'm really happy to hear that. I think
Yes,
that I think that's a great idea. I think that'll be really good. Did you say mangoes or
pardon?
the toothbrushes are made out of um
Bamboo.
okay,
Bamboo,
gotcha.
bamboo, bamboo is
Bamboo
a natural.
bamboo
It's a natural.
toothbrushes.
Yeah, you can find it a lot into Amazon forest in African countries and most
Yes.
of the Asian countries. You will find it's very durable. It's very easy to grow, and it requires minimal maintenance. So
Awesome.
that's the. Some of the in the Asian most of the Asian countries we will find the into the rural part the home are made out of bamboo. The furnitures are made out of bamboo.
Yeah, wow, that's incredible. I'm excited to talk today about process, just to kind of see, and then we can almost kind of talk about what this process, the full process for creating bamboo toothbrushes would be, for example. So
Yes, yes.
that's really great. The next piece is home quality of life commitment, and I told you guys I was going to pick on somebody to see what something is that they worked on and one priority area you worked on to improve and whether you did improve it or you tried. That's what we want to hear. Do I have a volunteer to share one quality of life commitment that you worked on since our last session? Or maybe even if it was a past session, just something that's on your list that you've been mindful of.
As far as I am concerned, as soon as I have seen, I really like that particular things. It is nothing new, but the thing is, once this is the home priority or it really brings back your focus that what is missing to make the personal life a perfect balancing life.
Mhm.
So I really started because I was not very much regular in terms of uh, doing the jogging and for the health. So that I have rigorously have started, and that is really helping me since last almost 4 weeks. It's you really feel energetic once you just go for a jog early in the morning for an hour or 45 minutes. So you really feel very light and energized for rest of the day to work. So that is
Mhm.
my effect I'm getting out of it.
Thank you, Summit. I appreciate that. I have a similar one with my health as well. So that's great. Well, awesome. Awesome. I'm glad to hear one. I'm gonna next week I'll do the same thing. I'll reach out and see if anybody would like to share a home quality of life commitment. I love hearing those items in particular. I think they're great. So, can everybody see my screen? Okay. Camden, are you able to see my screen, or maybe
Yeah. Oh, it just stopped. But
just stopped? Oh,
Now it has stopped. Earlier, we could see.
okay. There we go.
Yeah, it's clear.
Okay, so Unit 8, we are going to be covering processes. So the different items of this section is, first of all, know your process. So it's exactly what you were talking about with the toothbrushes summit, what it takes to create it, where you're getting it from the suppliers, and just all the way until you sell it to the consumer. Constantly improving the process. So once you've established a process, continuing to improve it and improve profitability and sales and how things are created. Hire slow and fire when necessary. This is a really important one for especially smaller micro businesses. Hiring an employee is often one of the biggest moves for them, and knowing when to do that and when to fire them is really important. Using time wisely, we'll get to that as well. That's like kind of setting up tasks, and then keep your business clean and organized. This one is a pretty straightforward one. You just don't want a cluttered workspace for your customer. Okay, the story of Hafiz. This is Hafiz right here, and she has a clothing company. So we are going to read her story. Can we have somebody read this? I don't know if somebody is able to read it. Let's go with Manish. Would you be able to read this by chance? Or Manish? If not, I can read it. Not a problem. Okay, I will start reading it.
Okay, let me volunteer. Khalid.
Okay. Yep.
Yeah. This is Hafiz from Turkey. She has made clothing to sell for about 15 years. Until she joined an Interwave Solutions MBS group, she wasn't sure if she made any profit and felt like her business just wasn't growing, her business wasn't organized. During her time with her MBS group, Hafiz learned the principle of process. She began to think about how she ran her business and started keeping her income and expense logs, income statements, and making a business budget. She created a process to keep her inventory organized and a process to improve how she collected money. Ever since I improved my payments and records process, I have been able to save money each month. She says, my business is finally growing. When Hafiz analyzed and then improved her business process, her profits increased. When we talk about process, we are talking about the steps to run your business. They include how you create your product, market, and deliver it to customers and receive payments. Your processes will be unique to you and your business, and you should constantly be improving them.
Perfect. Thank you, Summit. Yes, so when we are talking about just processes, this whole section is about how you are creating value in your product, and then how you are getting it out to your customer. And knowing this process in and out is super important when it comes to selling it and making good business decisions. And this is a great example from Hafiz. We're going to go dive right into her processes. So this is an example of a company that sells rugs, right? So I'd love everybody to take a look at this process for a rug making company, right? So she has a business that sells rugs. So it starts from just raising the sheep, and then cutting off their wool, right? They shear them, and then they spin the wool. So you've got some sort of a pinwheel right here that they spin the wool on, and then they weave the rug, which takes both of these take some skill, and the spin wool, that requires a physical product, right? And then you have bring rug to market, so you need a place to sell it, and then you finally sell the rug to the customer. And all of these are part of the process. And if you really wanted to, you could even go more in depth into each of these. So the image above illustrates the process of these women's weaving business. So here is an example of what the process will look like. And this is going to be something that you guys are going to all put on the My platform. So this can be super in depth. It can be like this one right here that just lays out the main processes. So for example, this one, it's raise sheep, to shear sheep, to spin wool, weave rug, bring rug to market, and sell rug to customer. That's pretty straightforward, and it should kind of help an individual that's outside of the company take a look at it and understand, okay, this is what your company does to bring the toothbrushes, for example, to the market. A good example of one for the toothbrushes would be like growing the bamboo. And I'm not sure what you do with the bamboo, but maybe it's grinding the bamboo up or whatever you do, and then putting it into a mold, or and then getting the bristles and putting them on the toothbrushes, and then putting the toothbrushes in your store in a clean fashion, good way, and packaging them, and then selling them off. And some of that may be in person, and some of that may be online. So that's just an example. Here's another example right here of buying. These are either bananas or plantations. So buying them, preparing them, cooking them, packaging them, and selling them. So these are banana chips. So these are bananas. So this is just another example of what that looks like, the process. So this is something that we are all going to be doing. So we'll go here, and maybe I can show how to do that. Duplicate tab. So let's go ahead and take a look. at processes. This would be in the business section, I believe. Okay, so process. So here's my process for real estate development. So I'm able to plug in kind of a text, right? And if I want to ever add another input, I can add box, right? So right here, I just added a box. So for mine, I buy raw land. So that's just from a farmer or from somebody that just doesn't want their land anymore or whatever that might be. Then I create the plans and pro formas, and I go in with engineers and architects to create a plan for what to happen with that land. I obtain required entitlements for the project. So what that means is I have to go in to the government, the city government, and I have to get those plans approved. And then I actually put in like the sewer, water, everything like that, gas, electricity. I put in the vertical improvements, the bricks, the wood, the everything. And then I take it to the market. I put it online and I put up posts, a big on billboards, and then I sell it. So that's my process for my business. So each one of you will need to hop onto my platform, which if you saw how I got there, as Camden has shown a couple times, you go to the business, which this is where you'll be at. You go to requirements, and then go to the business section, and this will get you to everything. So let's go ahead and continue on constantly improving your process. So this is once you've created a process, it's always an improvement. It's going to change. So if we are trying to constantly improve our process, we will improve our business, gain more customers, and earn more money. So there are certain questions that you'll want to ask yourself when creating processes. One of them is, do we have several suppliers? So for the toothbrush example, suppliers of bamboo. Maybe because what you wouldn't want is to have one supplier of bamboo and then everybody else, and then they get sold out one time or something happens to the bamboo and your business is done. So having multiple suppliers, where do we get our raw materials? Similar question. How do we add value? Are we closer or cleaner to our competition? This one we're going to cover a little bit more in this later slide here. So can we improve our transportation or delivery system? Can we make our product faster or more efficiently? So I think a good example of improving transportation or delivery system, there was a company in, I think it's somewhere in Africa, that took the MBS course, and their focus was on concrete. So individuals that are building their homes or doing projects have very limited access to concrete bags. So what they'll do is they sell them these huge bags, but transportation is hard. So usually you're walking by foot, so you'd have to carry these huge bags on your shoulder. So what this lady did was she created a business to make that transportation easier for people. So she split those bags up into pieces. And in order to decrease her own costs, she ended up having a truck and being able to put the big bags in the truck, put them into her office, and then split them up. So that's one example of transportation or delivery, improving that process. And can we make our product faster, more efficiently? So these are just all items that I would love all of you to go through. I mean, maybe I'll just keep on going through them. Could we package it in a better way? This is a big thing with marketing. I think with toothbrushes, that is very important, how you package it. Could we sell in bulk? So that's to maybe a wholesaler. So that would be somebody that would want to sell your own products in another location. How could we encourage customers to buy more? And how could we encourage customers to return more often? Processes for how to pay for the product or service. So can customers use credit cards, or do they have to physically be there to give you money? Could we use PayPal, phone minutes, or other electronic payment systems? Venmo would be another one. Can we offer official receipts? So any thoughts as we kind of go through those for Sandkelp or the toothbrush business or whatever that may be? Because I know that was a lot fired at you right at once. I've been talking a lot on this one, going through these questions. But let's focus on one. Let's go with processes of how our customers pay for products or services. How do you guys do that? Yes.
In fact, it happens especially for the unorganized sector. They lack the processes. Otherwise, they have a very good product quality. Someone is having a very, very competitively priced product into the market. But as they lack the proper processes, so they are not in a position to satisfy the customer in an uniform manner. They cannot maintain the uniformity, and which actually the process helps to maintain a business. Because you know that anybody, otherwise it is a person-driven business. And sometimes the business cannot run for longer because it's a person-driven business, not a process-driven business. So process is very, very important, and that is the key factor which can help a business to grow faster as well as longer.
Yes, thank you, Sumit. And as a company grows, that process is going to change drastically. It really will. You'll have different suppliers. You'll have to hire employees, and hiring employees, that is a process for sure. So we can go ahead and we'll go on to the next section here. So hire slow and fire when necessary. This is a really important, I'd love everybody to pay attention on this one in particular, because when either implementing it in your own business or teaching an individual about business principles, employees are a fixed cost. So no matter what you make as a business, you have to pay your employees. So it's a bigger risk for your company. So you just need to make sure that you are ready to do it. So let's go through some of these items that you need to discuss with employees to make sure that you really need them. So make sure that you really need an employee before you hire one. Often there is a temporary increase in business. We can pay a one-time contractor to get the work done instead of hiring a permanent employee. I don't know if I'm sure you guys know the difference between contractor and employee, but a contractor, you just go out there and you'd say, okay, I need to, let's go back to the wooden carpenter example. I just need somebody to help me build these wooden toys for Christmas, and that's all. So I would just go out, hire them for maybe 1 month, and just pay them to help me build these toys and stuff like that. So, but an employee, you're paying on a monthly basis or weekly, whatever it may be. And so it's a bigger commitment as a company. So often family members and friends will help us out until we see if an employee is really needed. So often in smaller locations, that's a great path to go to see you really need an employee. When you hire an employee, be sure you write down their job description and what they will do for your business. Meet with new employees and train them. Be sure to go over what you expect from an employee with them. So things to discuss are what you expect them to do, how much they will be paid, when and how they will get paid, and the process they need to know to accomplish the job. So if problems arise with an employee, write down the problem, write down what the problem is, and get over it with them. Go over it with them. So let's see. Was somebody saying something?
No, I just think that it's
So write down what the problem is and save it somewhere with your paperwork. Record the dates that you spoke with the employee about the problem and clarify details of what the employee needs to do to correct their behavior and keep their employment. So don't be in a rush to hire an employee. Make sure that you hire an employee that will do the job correctly. A lot of even big businesses, they'll pay individuals even a little bit more or a lot of bit more that are very qualified to do their job. So if an employee is not doing what you hired to do, then you will need to fire them. And this is often a hard thing to do, especially with small businesses because it often involves family. So this is the story of Reina. And so I'll read this one because it's a small one really quick. Reina asked her cousin Sarah for a job. Sarah is very busy in her shop. So she hired Reina to help with customers and clean up. In less than a week, problems developed between Reina and Sarah. Reina would ignore or disagree with the customers. She sometimes slept on the job. She ignored Sarah's instructions and refused to come in during the busiest hours. Sarah became discouraged and unhappy with her cousin's work. So the question is, how should Sarah resolve her problems with Reina? And that's a question to all of you. Either I'd love all of you to put something in the chat or unmute and just give me your opinion on what she would do. What would you do if you owned this company?
Hi, I would like to say something about on this. Basically, I think she needs some proper training. The first thing, and through the training, she must learn, and she would be learn about all the process, about all the thing what she has to do and what she has not to do. I think training is the best option.
Awesome. Yes. Thank you. Thank you very much for sharing. Yeah, just as you were saying, going through the processes of what she should do, and going through that, and if she doesn't change, or if you could tell that she's just not going to change and she's going to continue turning customers away, that's the time just to fire her. If you know that she is not bringing value to your business, and she's actually, in this case, she is actually not only bringing value, she's not bringing value, but she's actually harming your business. I think that would be time to fire her and let her go and find a replacement, somebody that will be kind to customers and that will be, attentive and not sleep on the job. Okay. Any questions on hiring employees. Summit, I would be interested to know how you found all of these individuals to work with you and when you made that decision.
In fact, Collins, what I have learned in my entire experience is hiring the people from the references. So
Yes.
I strongly believe into that, whether be it your personal reference, be it your employee reference, be it your customer reference. So I always, I really don't believe into hiring somebody through the advertisement from the open market, because some way or other you can get the good quality people once you get the person through some references. So I strongly believe into that.
I love that, and I actually, whenever I hit this section for now on, I'm gonna bring that up as well because I do the same thing. I look at references and I look at past employers or whatever that may be. Absolutely.
Secondly, I learned a good practice from my first company, that was P&G. So whenever we had to hire somebody, we, from the very first day, we should connect with their respective family, because nowadays it is all digital mode. But when we started our career, we had to give the offer letter on paper. It was a physical offer letter. So I had learned that particular good practice from that company, from P&G, is let either, normally we used to personally go to that particular employee's home and hand over that particular offer letter to their families, either to their parents, and if they married, their spouses. That in fact helps a lot to build a long-term bond with the family, with the employees, and in even if there are some transactional issues on a day-to-day working along with somebody, if there are some kind of an, I mean, argument and everything, and normally what's happened, the employee goes back to their home and they just share their displeasure with their boss or supervisor. Now, if you are well connected with the family, so they are not being encouraged, because they just consult that it may happen. There may be something wrong with you also. Otherwise, Sumit is not that type of a person, because he is too humble, he is too gentleman. So that is another way you can really make a preventive step or proactive action to, I mean, the damage doesn't happen into the relationship. So these are the things I have learned from my first organization, and since last so many years, I am practicing the same things and I'm getting the good results out of it.
That is great to hear. Awesome.
I do have my opinion also. Sometimes hiring from the references, it's a problem for us also. So we should separate personal life with professional life. I mean, if we are connected to the professional life, we suppose that we are hiring from the open market or from the consultancies and all. So first, we should train them properly, and we should give them a proper atmosphere. And I think that we should make them complete professional. We should be professional also, so that they and even we can understand the difference between professional life, and they should be professional. If they are professional, what's the organization, what's their company, then it can be benefit make benefit to the company and to other employees, and creates a positive aura.
Thank you. Thank you for sharing. It was very hard to hear. It was a little bit glitchy, but I did pick up a good portion. But yes, absolutely. Thank you very much for sharing. Yeah, for me, I've had several scenarios where I've had to both hire either employees or contractors, and I've had to fire a couple, unfortunately. And it's never an easy decision. When I have a need for my company that I can't cover, that is when I choose to hire a contractor or an employee. When I can no longer do something and it needs to be done in the business, and that is when I hire an employee or a contractor. So I can't do the engineering or the architectural work for my projects, and I need those individuals to do that, and I contract them out because I don't want to be paying them constantly. So we'll move on to use time wisely, so then we can get over to keeping business clean and organized as well. So this is a real story. This is it's kind of a fun story because everybody likes to imagine themselves in this situation. Maybe Satish, would you be able to read this? I'm not sure if you can see it or if that would work. And by the way, I think I found your LinkedIn profile, Satish. So I saw you on LinkedIn the other day. But if not, I can read it, no problem.
I
It
can
looks like,
on.
oh, that would be great, Camden, if you could read that.
Once there was a man who claimed to be an expert in time management. He approached a major company in the USA and offered to teach the company president 3 steps to make him successful in the use of his time. The president agreed to pay the consultant what he thought the advice was worth if the company implemented the steps the consultant taught. The consultant taught the president the 3 steps and went over how to use them in the company. He then returned 30 days after the training, and he was pleased to see when the president reported that not only had he implemented the steps, but those steps made a huge impact on the company's productivity. Then the president paid the consultant $10,000 US.
Yes, so thank you, Camden, appreciate that. This is a real life scenario where an individual came in and taught these items that we're about to show you, 3 items, and it made a huge impact on how the company was able to get tasks done. So it's not just planning, it's not just those items, but actually getting them done. So here are those items, and we'll spend a little bit of time just talking about them. It's simple, but it's effective, and that's really what you want to go for. So listing tasks each morning, make a list of things that need to be done that day. So I do a little checkbox, right? So I draw a little bit of a square, and then I write down what needs to be done. Set priorities. So put a 1, 2, 3, 4, or however many there are after each task, with 1 being the most important and 4 being least important. So for me, I do this a lot because I'll have a number 1 item. So for example, right now, my number 1 list on my to-do, I've got it right here, is, so I have get Nigeria visa. That's the number 1 on my list because I'm going on a trip to Nigeria to teach wellness course and MBS, right? And number 2 on my list is talking about my obligations and what we call lead lag indicators, but on my obligations to the company as I've taken on a new role. And number 3 and 4 and 5 follow. So just put the tasks down and set priorities. And this is something I think everybody would benefit from doing. So I really hope that everybody is able to implement this and do this. And then act, do the highest priority first. So the idea behind doing this is even if you don't get all of the tasks done, you've done all of the most important items and you've got the most important items taken care of. And so this is just super simple, but very, very important. And we could go into, we as a company just finished reading 12-Week Year. It's a great book if you haven't read it. But it talks a lot about things like this that make you effective and not procrastinating. So this is just a great personal thing to do. And it also helps you in a business to not forget the important items that you need to get done. Okay. Keep your business clean and organized. So can somebody tell me what they see when they look at these two images?
The one is totally, unorganized, and the another is, neatly stacked all the articles. So obviously, it attracts more customer because no customer really, like to visit to some of the business establishment where nothing is neat and clean. The things are not only that, even once it has not been organized properly, so the business owner cannot deliver systematically as per the customer's requirement. They don't have the right logbook for the stocks, that what color, what shapes they are having. On a contrary, the organized sector, so he knows on the logbook itself that what are the stocks available. So whenever the customer asks for any specific choices, he or she is ready to provide that particular as per the customer choice.
Awesome. Thank you, Sumit. And so talking about one example so this is a very clear example. What business would you buy from? It would be the clean one all day. I would much rather see what I'm buying and buy from a clean, easy to go through the inventory company. One example in Sandkalp maybe is your own self, your presentation when you go see individuals. Is your hair all messy, and do you have really dirty clothes? And your own presentation, are you clean, and are you organized yourself? So that when I go in to talk to investors, I need to be very clean. I need to wear the proper clothes and those different items. And so that's something, just cut the clutter out. If you have a ton of clutter, it's hard to keep track of what you've sold and what you need to buy and to keep a process going, as we've talked about. So just keep clean. That's something we always teach, and it goes a long ways. Commit to action. Okay, so this is going to our business plan, presenting your business processes to your action partner and asking for feedback. So take a look at the processes, for example, for maybe it's the toothbrushes, and talk with them about it. Just come up with the processes and then go to the MBS project requirement section and put it down in there. So implement 2 ways to improve a business process. So once you've taken a look at a business process, then say, okay, what are maybe 2 possible ways we can increase our profits, really, that we can make this process a little bit easier on us or easier to the customer? What are some things we can add? Do we need to add an online platform? Would that be nice? Different things like that, so you can sell it good. Or those are just examples of things to add in there, and go on the MBS requirement on my platform and put those in there. Home quality of life commitment. I'm going to pick on somebody next week to go over one of those. I don't know if maybe Prakash, if you can hear me, next week I am going to pick on you to tell me about one of the home quality of life commitments that you've worked on this week. Can I plan on that?
Yes, definitely.
Perfect. Thank you, Prakash. Okay, so a money management commitment. Let me, that will be continue to save, and in your budgets, just keeping up with the actuals. So going here, going to the My Platform, go to the money management section, and just keep up with actuals compared to planned. So I think that's it. Are there any questions before we end this course? Before we end this class? Not
Right.
the course yet. We're almost there. But
Yeah, that's why I know. I mean, there are, lot to go. Yeah. No,
Okay.
that's perfect. That's perfect.
Camden, do you have anything to add before we end?
Nope.
In
That's-
fact, Colin, you should not be into the business. You should have been into some MIT or Harvard as a
Oh,
lecturer.
no,
As a faculty. You should be.
that's very nice of you, Summit. That's kind of you.
Yep.
All right. Well, you guys ready to take our picture for today?
Ready for the celebration?
Yeah. I think Manish has already posted into the group, WhatsApp group.
Perfect.
Okay.
Yeah, that's live. So Prakash is with the live. This is actually our small head office of Sankalp.
Oh,
Right now you are seeing, so this is the office. Prakash,
Oh,
can
wow.
you just show them how it's a very, very small office, but we operate this is the
Oh, I could see. That's why I saw all the pink around people's hair and everything, and I was like, I don't know if you were putting on some sort of makeup that I didn't know about, or
that is actually the color, the powder colored. We call it gulal. So that is there is a celebration that any kind of a celebration, any kind of and so people just put that things on the faces, and it's a multicolor. So all 7 colors you will find. I mean, it's a
awesome.
well, today,
That's great.
since it's the last day of Lord Ganesha, we're gonna you're gonna have to remind me how the chant goes. But the one that we did a couple days ago. How does that one go again? Someone remind me.
So Cameron, next session we will have the usual time of 8:30.
Yes, yeah, we'll have the usual time of 8:30. Thanks to everyone for being
Okay.
flexible today.
Okay.
All right, well, we'll just
And how many more weeks we do have to
So there are,
because why I'm asking, because I have a couple of seminars lined up where I have been because I have to just give them the timing. I have been invited there as a guest speaker. So
okay,
that's the
awesome. 2 weeks is what's left.